Wow.
And I wasn't taught that in school.
No, I was just going to say, Louise, why weren't you my English teacher?
Get Radio Breakfast with Richmond.
Now, really looking forward to catching up with my next guest, Louise Taney, who is the director of Whitney's Truth and Told Theatre. Louise, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for joining us. Really, really pleased that you're on the show. Tell us first and foremost a little bit more about the Truth Told Theatre.
Oh, well, the actual Truth Told Theatre started by myself a couple of years ago, because I'm professionally trained as an actress, and I've performed in lots of different groups, and when I was a bit younger on TV and film and things. And basically, it's basically because I love Shakespeare so much, and I want to bring it to everyone, and I want everyone to enjoy it. I mean, I didn't enjoy it when I was at school because everyone used to just read around the class in a kind of monotone fashion, and I didn't understand it. But since being at drama school many years ago, it kind of brought it to life, and I realised that the script and the grammar and everything was there for the actor to read, to bring the characters to life, and actually that anyone can do it. It's just that no one seems to know about it apart from sort of professional theatre companies. So the reason why I go to Cogges is because I live locally, and it's about bringing it to the local community.
I think you touched on something there that is absolutely right. And I bet so many people listening right now this morning, when you kind of mention Shakespeare, obviously literary genius and what have you, and held in ridiculously high regard, of course, numerous fantastic plays, etc. But I think we've all been there. We've all been there in a classroom. We've all been there and kind of just gone and sat there and kind of looked around at each other and gone, I'm not quite there yet. Am I missing something? This is okay. It's a bit oldie. What does that word mean? Are we still using that word? And I guess that there is a moment where things click, and actually that you can kind of bring it to the masses, and the masses can enjoy it and sit there and go, actually, this is a wonderful thing. It feels like it's dropping down to my literally my level, and that's so important to kind of allow access for people, because you don't want people to be scared off by Shakespeare, I guess.
No, and particularly I'm doing Macbeth, and that's actually a GCSE set text. So at least half the country, 14 to 16-year-olds, will be studying it. And basically, I also condense them. I abridge them slightly so they're shorter for a modern audience to understand, and I try and make them as fast-paced and visual as possible, because if you think plays aren't really meant to be studied, they're meant to be seen. And I think that's where the real point is. And the other thing is a lot of the actors I work with are actually locally based as well, and some of them, they come to me and they've never done Shakespeare, and we sort of work through it together, and they're absolutely astonishing. So, anyone can actually act Shakespeare if they want to act. There's a lot of indicators in the actual grammar as to how to interpret the character and actually perform it. So a lot of it's written in what we call verse. So it looks like it's a poem on the paper, but the grammar actually hides how you do it. So I'll just give you one example, that if there is a full stop in the middle of a sentence when a character is talking, it's actually a quick change of thought.
Of course.
So, and if you get a whole speech from a character, and there's lots of full stops in the middle, it kind of means that they're in turmoil because they're having lots of different thoughts coming into their heads at the same time.
Wow.
And I wasn't taught that in school.
No, I was just going to say, Louise, why weren't you my English teacher? Because that is, of course, when you kind of break it down into layman's term like that, going, hey, look, we've all read this bit. There's a full stop there, and you kind of, like you mentioned, we've all been there. We've all read it out in class, literally. Right, you play this character. You're going to play that character. You read it in this. You read it in this, and you're just reading it. You're just reading it to waste the time. To kind of go, right, is it break time next?
And I mean, the other thing is that until you get to like a full stop, you have to upwardly inflect at the end of every line in the verse, because you haven't finished the thought. Right. So it's kind of like a shopping list.
Just keep on going like this and then going like that.
And I did this. I bought some carrots, I bought some peas and some bananas.
Wow. Oh,
And then
wow.
the whole
This
thing makes
great.
sense, you see.
Yeah, of course, of course. Well, look, you've broken down a number of Shakespeare's barriers instantly for me just in this 5 minute conversation, which is absolutely amazing and brilliant. So last year, let's just talk about specifically what's going to be coming up at the end of the month. Last year, you did Romeo and Juliet
Yes,
down
that's
at Cogges, and this year dealing with Macbeth. Now, Macbeth feels like a right surroundings in the Grade 2 listed building at Cogges. Maybe get a blanket, put it round you.
Yes,
It feels
yeah.
synonymous with
Yeah.
Macbeth.
It's in the main barn, the wheat barn, and basically what I like to do about Cogs is, because it's so atmospheric, is I sort of do site specific performances. So the audience will be at one end of the barn, and the other end of the barn will feel like you're kind of watching a medieval castle. So
Oh, yeah.
because of the stone floors
Yeah.
and walls and the high ceilings, so we're actually using that space without sort of big scenery or anything like that, to actually use the hundreds of year old stone to make it authentic. And then I've just got lots of candles and candelabra that I'm going to set up, sort of to bring the atmosphere to life. I mean, like last year I did Romeo and Juliet. I did it outside, but I used one of the walls as like the balcony,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing, because I think it kind of makes it more real for audiences as well, to come in and actually instantly feel part of the atmosphere.
No, absolutely. I mean, a March performance of Macbeth, where it might be a little chilly, bring your blankets along, and the dimly lit kind of barn there. I mean, you're in rural Scotland already, aren't you? Just with that sort of feeling.
There will be some heaters.
There will be heaters, everyone. You won't freeze, and it might be all right. So yeah, that's wonderful. Where can people find out a little bit more detail about the performance? Because it's at the end of March. There's a couple of evening, and there's a matinee performance as well, I believe.
It's Friday the 28th of March and Saturday the 29th of March. Both evenings it's at 7, and then on the Saturday there's also a matinee at 2 o'clock. So there's 3 performances last weekend of March. We've also got a special price for under 17-year-olds, because we appreciate those studying Macbeth might want to come. So we've kind of extended it from sort of, usually it's 14 and below as a child. We've extended it to 17. So to make it more accessible for people. If you go to the Cog website, then everything is on there. Go to what's on. Or I have, if you live locally, I have posters everywhere, and some of our actors will be leafleting in Witney on Saturday morning in costume.
Oh, wonderful! Oh, wonderful. Well, I live in Witney, so I'll look out for them on Saturday morning. Then that sounds absolutely fantastic. Louise, it's been a joy and a pleasure to catch up with you. I'm sure that's going to be absolutely fantastic at the end of March, and going to be an absolutely wonderful performance. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much, Rich.
It's brilliant stuff. Louise Taney there, the director of Witney's Truth and Told theatre production of Macbeth, as we mentioned, just happening at the end of March. Make sure you get your tickets, because that sounds absolutely fascinating. I've learned so much from Louise, literally just from that 5 minute chat. Really, really great stuff.